It's time to dig into another Disney favorite and find all the hidden Easter eggs. You've been asking me to talk about this movie for over a year now, so I think it's about time we talk about it. That's right, it's time to talk about everything you missed in Disney's movie, Meet the Robinsons. If you haven't ever seen Meet the Robinsons yet, please press pause and go watch the movie first, then come on back because this little Easter egg hunt may end up spoiling it for you. If you haven't already seen the movie, I'm going to put a list at crazynate.com of all the possible places you can get it today. Now that we got the shameless plug out of the way, the movie starts off where Louis is dropped off at the 6th Street Orphanage by his birth mother. Basically, this joint was created by nuns back in 1852 because so many people were dying from a cholera outbreak. This disease left many children as orphans. Over 1 million people died from cholera.
Wow, right out of the gate you have to be a Debbie Downer?
You're enjoying your day, everything's going your way, then along comes Debbie Downer.
Well, besides the fact that the orphanage was made because of the cholera epidemic, that's not my point. My point is that they actually spelled cholera wrong. It's spelled C-H-O-L-E-R-A. And last time I checked, Uninterrupted has 2 R's. Looks like this is going to be a movie sin, and we're only in the first scene.
No, we are not that kind of a show. Get that out of here. Just talk about the Easter eggs, okay?
The Anderson Observatory is a reference to the movie director Stephen J. Anderson, who was also the voice of Tallulah and Grandpa Bud and Bowler Hat Guy. Just like Louis, Stephen Anderson was also adopted, so this story was true to his heart. One thing we learned in one of my other videos is that Disney likes to symbolize the bad guy with a lot of green.
Great!
If you look at Bowler Hat Guy, you will notice he often has green all around him. Even Doris, that evil little hat, has a lot of green. She also got her name from Louis. When he decided that she was a bad invention, he filed her away under DOR-15, which looks a lot like Doris. For this next Easter egg, I'm gonna need your help. When Doris and Bowler Hat Guy go to the unicorn secret lair to plan their evil attack, you know, the Playtime Planet. If you look at the back of the seat, it looks a lot like some characters from My Little Pony. Though my sisters were a little bit obsessed with the show My Little Ponies, I have to say, I never really watched it. So today's survey question is this. Are these 2 ponies characters from My Little Pony? Or are they not? Though this does look like it's a princess castle, I don't recognize it as any of our Disney castles. But we do have Disney park attractions in the movie though. But for that, we are going to need a time travel to the future with Wilbur Lewis.
To the future!
When we're flying over the city, if you look past all the bubbles, you will see Space Mountain. And Disney has a portion of the park called Tomorrowland, but since this is the future, we're gonna have to call it Todayland. And you guessed it, those rocket ship rides is from Disney's Tomorrowland, and that's in the movie. If you ask me, I think it's about time that I show you a hidden Mickey. When Louis goes out into the yard next to the teacup, look closely at the blue rings in the grass and you will see it's the same exact Mickey design. This teapot could be a reference also to Mrs. Potts and Chip from Beauty and the Beast, or it's a reference to Alice in Wonderland. I'm leaning more towards Alice in Wonderland. Another Mickey that we get to see though is when Louis flies through the pipes, we can see a pattern that looks kinda like Mickey. Of course, the ears aren't exactly the right size, so if you want to argue that it's not a Mickey, I'm not gonna fight ya. On a side note, that kind of looks like Mankini Gnome from Romeo and Juliet if he put some clothes on. But this next one for sure is a Mickey, and nobody out there can deny it. Look between the 2 trees shaped like an R, and you will see they are holding up a upside down Mickey. Here's another one. When Carl gets stabbed by Doris and falls to the ground.
Look at that, boys! We're almost home,
Look next to Carl on the road and you'll see another Mickey.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're welcome.
For this next one, you gotta look in the garage really closely at the poster behind the transportation pipe. And Jiminy Cricket, would you believe it? You will see our beloved Mickey Mouse. He's actually flying a plane for the air races. When Gaston races Billy Robinson, Louis times the race. The stopwatch is the same shape though of Mickey Mouse. Well, wait a second, rewind. This guy is obviously not the sharpest crayon in the box. He doesn't even know that they have a garage.
We have a garage?
And his name just happens to be Gaston. Another not so sharp crayon was Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. They left you a clue that this was going to be a time travel movie on Lewis's first working invention with the Captain Time Travel lunchbox. Speaking of Captain Time Travel, when Lewis is arguing with Wilbur Robinson, he says something that sounds suspiciously like a line we heard in Toy Story.
Oh yeah, Captain Time Travel? Prove it!
Okay then, Mr. Lightbeer, prove it.
I know what you're saying, Meet the Robinsons is Disney and Toy Story is Pixar, right? This is true, but that doesn't mean their movies aren't in the same universe. And I have proof. When Goob is playing in the outfield, we see an advertisement for Toy Story, a Pixar film. And next to that, we're gonna see The Jungle Book, a Disney film. So they are clearly in the same universe. And it's possible the green dinosaur is from Dinoco Gas. But that's a whole nother story. Also, take a quick second to look at Joe Robinson here.
That's Uncle Joe.
He seems like he's a passenger aboard the Axiom in WALL-E. Perhaps the future part of the Robinsons took place right before WALL-E did. Maybe Lewis's future was the beginning of the end of our world's future. After all, WALL-E the movie came out the very next year after Meet the Robinsons came out. Conspiracy. Also, if you have the movie, go watch the deleted scenes and you will see in the baseball field there's another bonus Easter egg of Monsters, Inc. Speaking of monsters, when Wilbur gets eaten alive by the T-Rex, well, almost got eaten alive, he's saved by Lewis when he props a shovel in the monster's mouth, preventing him from being able to bite down. Just like when Luke almost got eaten alive in Return of the Jedi and he shoved a bone in the Rancor's mouth.
Well, that was unexpected. As was that.
If you ever heard of Tailspin, you will think that fruit hat looks a little bit familiar. That's because Baloo wore a fruit hat just like that one before. On Lewis's alarm clock, we see Albert Einstein, but it obviously doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. Another smart person that was on the wall that Lewis admires is the guy Nikola Tesla, who basically invented electricity. Kind of, not really. I don't know. He invented a bunch of stuff. I failed history, okay? Also in Lewis's new lab, we see Einstein again on the bulletin board. The movie Meet the Robinsons was based on the book A Day with Wilbur Robinson, whose author was William Joyce. They paid tribute to the author by naming the school Joyce Williams Elementary. And then Pam Wong was a digital artist for the movie, and here's her name on the hospital cabinet, Wong. Lewis goes to the store a few times, so you have a couple chances to notice this Easter egg. Down in the corner, Montoya is Ramon Montoya, the technical director. Oh, sorry, I spaced out there. Cornelius is Lewis in the future, but Lewis doesn't know that he's his older him.
What does Cornelius look like?
So when he asks Wilbur what Cornelius looks like, he says he looks like
Tom Selleck.
And that photo is actually of Tom Selleck. But that's because Tom Selleck actually is the voice for Cornelius in real life. The paintings of all of his family members also has the art director's name signed on it as well, Rob Ruppel. Also, when Goob is going to steal Lewis's invention and he's entering the building, let's slow it down just a little bit and you will see Rob Ruppel is also apparently a plumber.
Fire!
Surely that is not the best you can do.
This bad lip sync battle is a reference to the old action movies like Jackie Chan. Another bad guy in a different movie that wore a bowler hat was Oddjob from GoldenEye 007. Oddjob's hat also had special abilities. And I don't want to have to be that guy, but the peanut butter and jelly machine probably doesn't work because it defies physics. He has peanut butter in one cup and jelly in the other one, and then he has two separate tubes merging to one, then the gun magically shoots them out separately once again. I think not. Oh yeah, and at the science fair, they cheated. They used the same science project multiple times. But this volcano,
Mount Vesuvius!
is actually a real-life volcano that exploded in 79 AD, and it killed over 5,000 people! And now, in the same exact spot, there are 3 million people living. The same spot, at the base of the volcano. But don't worry though, scientists say it probably won't go off for another 2,000 years from its last eruption, which means it probably won't go off until... Oh wait, it's actually due to go off again.
Well then, to Lewis.
To Lewis!
To Lewis.
Near the end of the movie, Wilbur decides to honor his word and take Louis back in time to see his mom drop him off at the orphanage. This was actually possibly a bigger danger to Wilbur's future non-existence than Bowler Hat Guy ever was. Because if Louis saw his mother, he may have become consumed with his past. And if you focus too much on your past, you can't plan for your future. Which he was in his future. But at the end though, Louis decided to not visit his past and leave his past in the past. But he slipped as he walked away and almost got spotted by his mom. The noise startled his mother and she ran off before even having a chance to knock on the door. So Louis had to knock to get himself in. This is the little clue that we need to know the movie actually ends before it ever began. If we rewind all the way back to the beginning of the movie, his mom heard a noise and then ran away. So then who knocked? That's right, Louis. The entire movie already happened before it even began. The moral of the story though is no matter what happens in your life, keep moving forward. Which is inspiration from Walt Disney's quote, and they gave credit to that quote at the end of the movie. Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Walt Disney. Let me know what movie you want to talk about next. Subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure. And remember, most importantly of all, gents and gentlettes, share a smile. They are contagious.
Hey, share a smile. They're contagious. Can you imagine a day without smiling? Whew, that would be outrageous. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with Crazy Nate. Make sure to leave a thumbs up if he left you feeling great. Have fun and we'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe.
Sarsaparilla, my teeth are back.